Hello ladies and gentlemen, and for once, this is future me. This isn't a live recording, well, while I'm playing the game anyway. That's mainly because the times for the Victory Command beta were between 6 o'clock PM GMT and 1 in the morning. So the video was recorded somewhere between midnight and 1. So, yay. It's an American servers and things and stuff like that, so yay. At least I get to play it. At least it's not the other end of the American time scale where it's like 4 in the morning or something. So yeah. That's why I'm here with my lovely cup of tea, doing a voice recording in the future. Well, after the game. Afternoon after. A lovely cup of tea. This is a companion video, or a companion sort of narration thing, which goes with a write-up, which you should have read. If you haven't read it, the link to the thing should be in the description. Here I'm going to be slightly more... Well, I'm going to go through my niggles, my slightly more smaller, more petty things that I have against, well, I have with the game. Talking about it in slightly more detail and slightly more petty in sort of a regard. The video that should be playing at the moment should be, well, the second re-rendering, because the video codec getting this video working is a pain in the ass. But this should be the second re-rendering of a match where one of the people who was in the match, one of the people on my team, I noticed him in the chat once, and he was saying that he was a dev, and so apparently I played with one of the devs. Apparently he was good. For those who don't know what the game is, or still don't necessarily understand what the game is, it is sort of like an it's Victory Command is sort of like a mix between an RTS and a MOBA. You take control of either a squad of infantrymen, a squad of jeeps, or a squad of tanks, and there are 5 other people who also have control of either a squad of tanks, a squad of jeeps, a squad of infantry. So it's 5 squads against another 5 squads. At the moment, the only match is control point, which is control point A, control point B. You get points when you have majority control of the 3, or you control more points than the enemy, and then first person to 250 points wins. So that is the entirety of the gameplay at the moment. There's not that many units either. There's only about four different versions for each type. Because there was only 2, I think. But there was only 2. I think there was only 2 last time I played last week. But this week there was more people, like the mortar infantrymen, who are a giant pain in the ass. It's certainly making... I think range was probably the big update for this one, because you've got long barrel tanks, which I unlocked. That's the first thing I unlocked, and they are lovely. I like them. More range. Range is good. And the artillery jeeps, which are a slight pain in the ass, but most of the time I'm usually a missile-wielding thing, so I can kill them quite easily. And mortarmen, who just appear out of bleeding nowhere. Because at the moment, balancing is quite well done. There are a few niggles, but it's mainly because the offensiveness and the defensiveness of the classes seems to be a bit off at the moment. It's like jeeps always seem to feel underpowered because they can get done in by most of the infantry people and done in by most of the tanks. You would think that, oh yeah, they're jeeps, but then they got the speed on their side, and it feels like they don't. It feels like the infantrymen are only just slightly slower than them. So I think there probably needs to be a little bit more balancing between the jeeps. And one thing they put in with this new update for the match that you're seeing at the moment was a new matchmaking system where you can have people of multiple different tiers. So people who have slightly higher level vehicles or units than others and things. And sort of merges the tiers together, so it quickens matchmaking. Which matchmaking doesn't really seem to have been sped up. It seems to be about the same, which is slightly peculiar. Or yeah, seems slightly peculiar. But one thing the one thing they need to make sure of is that the matchmaking is kind of fair. Because the first match I did with this new update was my team was entirely filled with tier 1, and the enemy team had 1 tier 1, 3 tier 2, and 1 tier 4. We were resoundingly beaten. It was literally 250 points to 0. So I think the kinks for this new matchmaking system probably needs to still get slightly polished out. The other matches weren't that bad either, because that was the first match I played, so I remember that one. But the other matches seemed to be quite fair. You had many people in chat complaining, "Oh, this team is stupid, this team is stupid." But then I'd look at the points and just go, "It's actually kind of close." It was a lot closer than you give it than you think. You give your team slightly more credit, which is quite nice. I like that. It seems one thing that definitely needs to be mentioned is the tutorials. I have seen the videos, most of them anyway. But because for the game, as it's an online game, the tutorials are videos, but the videos aren't. The only time you're really linked to the videos is in the launcher, and that's it. As soon as the game gets launched, the tutorials just aren't mentioned at all. And so quite a few people, and I think one person in particular that I saw in the lobby last night, either found the videos just not being that good, or he didn't know that they were there or anything like that, because he was asking a lot of questions about all these different things, and loads of them, I think everyone was very helpful, but I think there needs to be slightly more better push, or a slightly more obvious link towards tutorial videos. I actually have them actually in the game, like having an option on the main menu of the game where it's like it either takes you to the videos or ebbs the videos into the player or something. Because at the moment, getting to the tutorial videos is, well, you have to go out of your way to see the tutorial videos rather than actually have them presented to you as something, as a thing. So I think, especially if it or when the game goes for its full version, having slightly more obvious or slightly more pointed out tutorials would definitely be a decent addition, because then it would mean that a lot of the more simple questions, because at least the videos that I saw, it explained basic mechanics and all those sort of things, and it would at least gain their attention for that amount of time. So I would say it would be something to put in just to help people who are coming into it, because the mechanics can get quite complicated. Hearing some of the stuff some of the other people were talking about yesterday with the tactics, with the new perk system, was quite bewildering after a while. So it's slightly more obvious link to sort of tutorial-esque things would be slightly better. And on the perks, or at least something connected to the perks, the currencies that are in the game at the moment, I have nothing really that wrong with the currencies at the moment. The big problem I have with the currencies at the moment is that there are too many of them. There are quite a few of the currencies, because at the moment there's the victory bucks, which I'm assuming is going to be the premium premium currency, simply because I don't have any at all. So yeah, I'm assuming that's going to be the premium currency. Then there's a green one, which I'm not entirely sure what it does. I have some of that one, but I don't really use it. I'm not sure what it does. Then there's gold, which is essentially coins, you get that for matches. There's bronze, which is used for perks, which I gained 100 of when I unlocked something, when I unlocked that tier 2 tank. And then there's never mentioned ever again, because I assume the bronze one is somehow connected to the perks, because when I used the double tank, it used quite a lot of it, and I'm slowly using it and stuff, and slightly more explanation of what that bloody thing does. Because the bronze one is a new addition, I think. It might have been there before, I never really unlocked the tank till last night, till my second time playing it. And there's a blue currency, which is essentially XP. You get it after matches, more if you win, less if you lose. Then there's a VIP, I think it looks like VIP tickets or a VIP currency, but it's a VIP thing also as well, which I'm assuming is also premium, I think, or that is the premium one, and then the other Victory Bucks one is something else entirely. I don't know, but anyway, that leaves the total amount of currencies or total amount of numerical things in the game at 6. One thing which seemed to be quite odd as well, is that when I unlocked the tank, you use the experience to research the thing and then the gold to buy it. I think there's a lot of stuff with the gold, because there's always been a repair option, and that repair option has never really changed except for one time last night. So I think I think at the moment there are a load of these sort of currencies in the game, with the Victory Bucks, the gold, the experience, the bronze perk ones, the VIP ones, the green one, which I still don't know what they do. I haven't got any of it. And there just seems to be so many of them, and I think there needs to be a slight more explanation of what they all do. Although the one good thing is that with most of them, at least with the experience ones, the bronze ones, and the gold ones, you can essentially go down the line and basically transfer the ones you get in the game, and then transfer them down the line into other ones. So essentially, this is the reason why I think the Victory Bucks and this VIP one are premium stuff, because I don't think you can transfer like the experience or gold or anything else into them. One other thing that probably should have slightly more explaining. Again, this might be in the tutorials, but it'd be better to just have a list for the tutorials and things to see what stuff's there. But there's one thing which is probably could do with slightly more explaining, and that's the customization that you get, because the tier 1 stuff you can't customize, mainly because they're the primary things you get, because they're the first level of things you get those when you first start. But the tier 2 stuff, like the stronger tanks, the slightly more perked up jeeps and tanks and infantry and things like that, you can customize them with an alpha setup, a beta setup, so you can have more tanks or less tanks, but with extra support units and things like that. But I think it just needs slightly more explaining, because at the moment, because you can unlock more stuff like medic units and more perks, but it just ends up being slightly more. It seems extremely complicated or really convoluted, and it just needs more explaining. And well, like I said before with the tutorials, there needs to be slightly more obvious tutorials, like a help button where you click, like the sort of thing you see in quite a few games where you click like a question mark button and then click on the thing and it gives an explanation about it. Things like that would be good, simply because I think it slightly follows the RTS mechanics, is where it can get complicated pretty quickly, and it would be nice to have slightly more explanation. And I think like I said, is the currency probably needs slightly more explanation. This customization needs slightly more explanation. one of the smaller niggles that I have, which I think might be more up to me, or more, or slightly more down to the sort of games that I play. Because most of the time with RTSs and well, games like this as well, I don't move around with the mouse, because you can move around with the mouse, like going to the top of the screen that goes up, left, and right, and up, down, all sorts of things like that. Most of the time I usually don't do that, and I just use the keyboard to move around. But the one thing that they've done is that they've put the camera controls on the arrow keys and the perk turn, the perk hotkeys. There we go. I was going to remember it in the end. The perk hotkeys on the first line, so Q, W, blah blah blah, along those. And I think it would be slightly better. It would be good to have an option where it had like WASD camera controls and the hotbar as 1, 2, 3, 4, blah blah blah. I don't think there's an option to customize keyboard controls. I don't think there is that option. But even if it was just like an alternative button setup, or alternative keyboard button setup, where you had the camera with WASD and the hotbar numbers as 1, 2, 3, 4 or whatever, like sort of like MOBAs. I think that's that's probably where that comes. That's probably where that slightly comes from. But yeah, I think that's probably one of the small niggles. It's probably one of the really is probably one of the smaller niggles that I have. Probably one of the more petty ones. Probably one of I am very, very glad that this game is playable on lower-end computers, because with the low-end computer that I have this recording on is my main working computer, which isn't built for gaming or anything. It doesn't even have a graphics card, and I'm still able to play the game on it. I have to drop the settings down, but if you're playing a game on a system on a system like mine, then obviously you don't care about graphics, and obviously I don't. So just being able to play games on systems like this, on the lower end systems, is extremely good. It's absolutely brilliant, because very few games, or properly released games at least, are designed with that in mind. They're usually designed with graphics and particle effects up the arse, meaning you have to have relatively new systems to play it at all, or for it to even work. Being able to play on the lower end computers is good, and please, please, please keep that. The settings that you have at the moment, and the graphical settings, and the way the game looks absolutely great as it stands at the moment. I think the video at the moment doesn't really do it justice, partly because it's been re-rendered twice. So, and probably the reason for that as well is not because of the game or anything, just so people know it was probably my end. Just being able to play it on a low-end PC is extremely good, because it means people with not necessarily gaming laptops, but people with just laptops can play it as well. Anyone can play this. The market is open, extremely open for you, and it's great. It's very fun. I think the design of the game, with the length of the matches and things like that, it's very good for, like, if you have a long train journey, like for example when I'm going up north to the MCM stuff in Telford, when I did that a while ago. Just being able to play the game on a laptop would be great. It would certainly be fun. So overall, with this game, I very, 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 very much like this game, but as you can probably tell from the video, I am really not good at it. I'm genuinely not that good at it. But I still really, really, really like this game, and it's very, 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 very fun. yeah, I think I think the niggles that I have are more around helping people get into it and helping, helping have stuff explained more than anything, without having to go through go through to somewhere else to see tutorial videos or anything. Just having them presented in game, well, sort of in the player of in the game player, actually in the window, like in the options menu or something, would be nice. Rather than having to go somewhere else for it, just have everything all compact and connected all into one thing, because you have to be online anyway, because it's an online game. So just ebbing the tutorial videos into the options menu or something would seem perfectly fine, because you would have to. And if you can play a game online, you can at least stream video to some sort of standard. Yeah, I think that would pretty much be the only criticism I have, is just put the tutorial videos into the game window or into the options menu. Like, have a tutorial, have the options menu and have a tutorial button. You click that, and you have a list down one side of all the different videos and things like that. You click it, and it comes up on the window next to it. That'll pretty much be it. Just yeah, because otherwise that's pretty much it. Game was fun. The game's very fun. I like it. Like I've said many times before, I need to try and stop repeating myself. Yeah. That was Victory Command. It's getting a lot of regular updates. Like I said, I played this last week, and then I played it this week, and it was an update for more units and balancing patch and things like that. And it seems to be going that sort of regular update route, which I really hope they keep up with, because that is great. It's fantastic having them have regular updates, because it partly proves that they care, but it also proves that they're going to put more and more stuff into the game, like more units or more maps or more game types eventually. Yeah, it proves that they actually are. Well, it proves that they have faith in the game, and I'm glad, because it's great.